Hey there everybody, PTPOP here, leading you out of the rabbit hole, one grain of truth at a time. Today, I'm going to do a deep dive into a very dark topic, how people are controlled. And I think this is a very relevant topic, especially since Mr. Charlie Kirk was assassinated yesterday in Utah. I want to talk about how things are used and manipulated against us to gain control over us. I'm going to do this by doing a comparison and a contrast of work of Orwell versus Huxley. Now, throughout time, since the dawn of mass media especially, thinkers have warned us about how power could be used to control us. And two of the most famous warnings came from Aldous, Huxley, and George Orwell. Okay. And I find this interesting because Huxley, the author of Brave New World, he warned us what societies could be, but how societies could be subdued, not with whips and chains, but with pleasure, comfort, and endless distraction. Orwell, the author of 1984, warned us of the opposite. He warned us of control through fear, surveillance, and the crushing weight of totalitarian power, right? Both men painted a very dark vision and a fatalistic vision of the future, and both of these visions that these two individual men had may be happening today. So let me play a video for you here of Mr. Huxley speaking about how populations can be controlled by endless distractions.
I mean, this was one of the sort of what I may call the messages of Brave New World, that it is possible to make people contented with their servitude. I think this can be done. I think it has been done in the past, but I think it could be done even more effectively now, because you can provide them with bread and circuses, and you can provide them with endless amounts of distractions and propaganda.
This all raises, I think, so it does to me anyway, this question of how much one really does value freedom, or really how free one feels oneself to be. I mean, someone like myself, say, was grown up since the war. I mean, do you believe that I am less free than someone who was brought up in the 20s or in the 80s of the last century or in the 18th century?
Well, it depends entirely who you were in the 80s of the last century or the 18th century. I mean, if you were a country gentleman with an income, you were remarkably free, but if you were a peasant on his estate, you were remarkably unfree. I mean, it seems to me maybe the word freedom perhaps is too vague a term in this sort of context. I think what we have to ask is what sort of a social pattern and what sort of a political regime is best calculated to help the individuals within the society to realize the maximum extent of their desirable potentialities. I mean, it's quite obvious that most of us are functioning at about 10% of capacity, and that wouldn't it be nice if we could function at 20% instead of at 10%?
Do you have any clear idea of how this could be done?
Well,
what kind of society it would be?
Well, I have ideas. I don't know whether they're valid or not. As a matter of fact, I've just finished a kind of utopian fantasy, which is the opposite of Brave New World, which is about a society in which a serious effort is made to help its members to realize their desirable potentialities. And I've gone into, I mean, this is an attempt.
Now, this is something I thought of as well. Not that I'm up same status as Huxley, but when I have my podcast, I say all we have is each other, and they want us to believe the opposite, that all we have is the government, all we have is the police, all we have is the military to protect us. The military will protect us, the police will protect us, yet they still fail us every day. They want us to believe the government's going to help us, but all they do is take our money through taxes and create fear and fear-mongering, and they ally themselves with countries that none of us, they never asked me if I wanted to be an ally of Israel or France or Italy, but that's what they do. Okay, so They do the thinking for us. So I don't know. It would be nice if we just got together and thought on our own, and we're just good to each other. We didn't have to rely upon
to write what may be called a practical utopia. Nothing is easier, of course, than to enunciate ideals and to say, well, wouldn't it be nice if everybody were good and kind and loving, etc., etc. Of course it would be very nice, but the point is, how do you implement these ideals? How do you fulfill your good social and psychological intentions? And
does everybody remember, today is September 11th, 2025, 24 years after September 11th, 2001. Does everyone remember how everyone acted towards one another on September 12th, 2001? Here in America, everybody was shocked. We were still in shock over the attacks on the World Trade Center. We were walking around in stunned silence. People were being kind to each other for the first time, maybe ever. Considering each other in traffic. We're being polite and courteous, loving, generous. We were donating money to police officers holding the intersections of my town. I was driving to work, and these firemen were standing in the streets with their boots, their firemen's boots, asking for donations to donate to the firemen that died in New York City. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, here's $5 or whatever I had in my pocket at the time. And Huxley believed that modern society didn't need to burn books or outlaw free thought. Instead, he thought people could be drowned in so much noise, so much entertainment, that truth simply became irrelevant. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Why fight for freedom when you're so comfortable? Why think deeply when you're endlessly scrolling? Right? Endlessly entertained, endlessly consuming. Think about our daily lives today. We're endlessly comfortable. If you walk down the streets in America today, everyone is fat. Everyone's overweight, myself included. I'm a good 20 pounds overweight. I used to sit around eating potato chips and brownies and drinking Busch Light beer, and I was like 30 pounds overweight. I've lost some of it. But look on any American street, everyone is almost morbidly obese, if just not obese. We're fat. We're constantly scrolling through our phones. We're numb. And Huxley warned, this isn't just fiction. This is the future. He said this a long time ago. And look around today. We live in a world of endless streaming, endless consumer goods, and endless social media. I mean, I'm a victim of it. I sit there on my iPhone at night. My wife's sitting on the couch on her laptop. She's got headphones on. The TV's on with the Guardians game. I'm sitting on my iPhone not paying attention to my wife. My wife's not paying attention to me. We got the Guardians game on the big screen TV set. It's muted. I'm on my iPhone scrolling through TikTok. Endlessly death scrolling. News is entertainment. Politics is a reality show. I've said this in the past. Donald Trump just brought The Apprentice into the White House. He's done it twice now. Ads are everywhere. You cannot escape advertising. It's everywhere. It's on billboards. It's on the phones. It's on our computers. It's on the TV set. It's on the radios. Everywhere. It's in our homes, on our phones, even on the gas pump. You can't even get a gallon of gas these days without being hit in the face with advertising for a $2 big gulp or something. We don't need thought police when we're too busy scrolling TikTok or binge watching another series. They don't need thought police, but they've got them out there. They're shaping our minds and our thoughts. In Huxley's world, control through distraction, a world where people love their servitude. Don't you love your servitude? You're warm. You're happy in your house. You got a belly full of pizza. You got a beer and a cigarette. You got the game on. You're slowly rotting away from within. Your mind is numb and quiet, and it's all just given to you. Food that's killing you, TV that's killing you, movies that don't make any sense, but you watch them anyway. Movies filled with satanic symbolism, filled with violence, gratuitous sex. Now I'm going to play a video here from George Orwell. This is George Orwell's last interview. This is from a TikTok channel called Rich 51 Clothing.
There will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement.
Let me play that again.
There will be no emotions except fear.
Fear. Remember, after September 11th of 01, they said that our country was going after all the terrorists. Funny. All the terror that's in my life right now has been set forth by corporations, healthcare companies, pharmaceutical companies, the government. I have yet to be terrorized by a Muslim. But yet somehow, fear is always in my mind. Who's going to shoot me? Who's going to attack? When is the government going to come and take our house in public domain to build a shopping mall?
Rage, triumph, and self.
Yesterday when Charlie Kirk got shot, I was filled with rage at first. And then I sat back and I thought, well, wait a minute. I didn't even know this guy. Okay, he was a political figure, a well-spoken young man who I watched on YouTube a few times. Why am I filled with rage? What could I possibly do about him getting shot? But we're all filled with rage today. We're all filled with rage the day after this horrible assassination took place. But why? What it makes us feel powerless. Doesn't it make you feel hopeless? Like, oh my God, I got to do something. And you go, what am I going to do?
Abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm.
I do believe the sex instinct being eradicated. I do believe it because they have done something to all of our identities down here on this planet that I don't quite understand. They've got boys thinking they're girls. They've got girls thinking they're boys. When they go out in public, I can't tell who the women are, who the men are. To me, women have become so annoying. I think women are the most beautiful, quote, creatures, unquote, in the world. But they become so annoying, just disgustingly annoying, that I can't even stomach looking at a woman these days because they've all dress up. Some of them, dress in these skimpy clothes. They prance around the stores with these skin-tight yoga pants on. But I'm not supposed to look at them as sexual objects, even though biologically I'm created and meant to be a visual being. So we procreate. We have a visual attraction to the opposite sex because we're supposed to procreate and make other humans. But that's all been pushed aside for pornography, for self-gratification, or, quote, self-stimulation, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And it seems like now guys are only thinking, I don't know if I agree with Orwell's thing here about the eradication of the orgasm, but it seems like that's all guys want. They don't want to make babies. They don't want to have families. They just want to have some pleasure. Same with women. It's all everywhere on the internet how a woman can achieve an O with this device or that device or this porn or that porn or this clothing or riding a horse or being on a motorcycle. If it vibrates, hey, they've achieved an O.
There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party.
Isn't that true? Today, everybody's at each other's throats. We got Democrats versus Republicans. The Democrats are the bad guys. The Republicans are the guys in the white stallion with the white Stetson galloping down from the mountaintop of the military to save us from the Democrats. Allegedly, the Democrats assassinated Mr. Kirk yesterday. We don't know that. Nobody knows what it was. It was probably our own government did it to start the war, the civil war that they so desperately want us to be in.
But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face.
Now this provides a picture of a variety of things here. But it sounds like today's world, especially in America and in the UK. You got the government trampling on all the innocent people. But now you've got the right-wing Republicans telling us to hate the left-wing Democrats. And the Democrats are saying, the right-wing Republicans are evil. And they've got us looking for the thrill of victory, chasing after somebody, of conquering someone. The basic idea here is most of us aren't equipped mentally, emotionally, or physically, or militarily to take on the government. But they want us to do something, but we're all helpless. What are we going to do? Pick up my 9mm and go charge some military installation? No, I'm not going to do that.
Boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
That's just what I've been saying. It's all up to us. All we have is each other. I believe the key to this madness is to kind of just divorce ourselves from the government. Stop buying into everything they say. Stop getting upset because somebody else got assassinated. Divorce yourself from it. Take care of each other. Take care of your wife, kids, your husband, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, friends, your neighbors. Because the government's not going to do it. No one's going to swoop in and help them. George Orwell's nightmare was different. He imagined a future where people weren't lulled into complacency, but beaten submission. Where fear ruled every corner, where loyalty to the party was absolute. Where individuality, intimacy, and love itself was forbidden. How many people talk about love anymore? Does anybody talk about love? I guess if you go to church, you hear about it every now and then. Nobody talks about love. Everybody talks about what they want. I want this. I want that. I'm not happy. I'm going to go off and, oh, geez, I got to go do this. And I got to, hey, mom and dad, I'm leaving. I'm going to go become an actor in Hollywood. Everyone's out to have fun. It's all about having fun. And intimacy is gone. Intimacy is completely gone. Everybody's hopped up on their TikTok or their pornography or their X-Hamster channel or doing their OnlyFans stuff to try to make money. It's all about making money in this country. If you can make $1 million, you got it made. They think, $1 million doesn't get you anywhere. And one of the most important hunting lines ever written, Orwell said, if you want to picture the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. And it seems like that's just what they're doing, doesn't it? Just what he said in the video. Doesn't it seem like a boot stamping on the face forever? Look around you right now. We live in a world of endless streaming, endless consumer goods, and endless social media. It's crazy. Just yesterday, the assassination of Charlie Kirk shocked the nation. Whether you agree with him or not, the act itself was meant to terrify, to send a message, to silence voices through violence. That's Orwell's world. Control through terror. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be take 2. All right, this is take 2. Just days ago, the assassination of Charlie Kirk shocked our nation. Whether you agree with him or not, the act itself was meant to terrify. There's no other way of saying it. It was designed to send a message, to silence our voices through violence. That's Orwell's world, control through terror. And this week also marks the 24th anniversary of 9/11, the day that changed my country, the United States, forever. Fear reshaped not just America, but the entire globe. Airports have become fortresses. Wars were launched. Surveillance expanded to a level Orwell himself might not have imagined. The Patriot Act, mass data collection, endless security checks, all justified in the name of safety and counterterrorism. Fear became policy. Terror became the excuse for control. Huxley's vision of distraction, where people surrender freedom for pleasure, or Orwell's vision of fear, where freedom is crushed under surveillance and control. The truth may be in both. Today, we're seduced by entertainment, consumerism, all while being watched, tracked, and kept in line by fear, terror, fear of violence, fear of one another. Control through distraction, control through fear, two paths, one destination, obedience. Orwell warned us about a future ruled by pain. Huxley warned us about a future ruled by pleasure. But both agreed on one thing: people can be controlled, and if they stop thinking for themselves, they're done. I'll leave you with this cartoon that was posted on TikTok. Either TikTok or Facebook by Club Cranium. The picture of a little girl sitting on her dad's lap, and she asks him, "Dad, why do people give up freedom for security?" And the dad says, "It's called the Hegelian dialectic, sweetie. They create a problem, the problem creates a reaction. There is enough fear and hysteria, people will not only accept that solution that limits their rights, but they will actually beg." Doesn't that seem like today? We're begging for the government to do something. Everyone's rabid. Donald Trump is here to save us. Please, Donald, bring sanctuary to our cities. Bring happiness to our world again. Bring us economic fulfillment and money and jobs. Please, please, please. He's marching the National Guard into D.C. and Chicago. Got snipers killing politicians, political figures, attempt assassinations on our president to create the fear because we think Trump is going to save us. He's the savior of all mankind. We beg and we beg and we beg. Nothing for us. They give us nothing. They take more of our money through taxes. They stick it to us in the corporations. We don't make any money anymore. Healthcare is through the roof. Costs a fortune of life savings just to get an operation these days. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think is going out there. Is this all a fear tactic to control us? Do you believe in that? Let me know what you think. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe. Leave your comments. I'll talk later. Hasta la vista, baby.
Yes, I understand you now.
Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that?